enough of this failed experiment yet?
Yes!
I'd go around and do the I told you so tour, but I think all of you actually already knew, right? Right? Which is why we have to get back in it, right? The one place where the Biden administration and Democrats have overperformed is I thought it would take them much longer to destroy our country.
Yeah.
No, right? But I figured 4 years will be a disaster. We're 1 year in.
Yeah.
We have 3 more years of this nonsense to go. I don't know if we'll have anything left by the time they get done, right? And we can talk about policy and we can disagree on nuance and stuff. You can't disagree with what's going on right now, right? I thought it was bad and it's getting worse, and then you had the Afghanistan withdrawal, right? Now you're on the verge of World War III, with plenty of people pushing to get into a ground war with Russia and Europe. What could go wrong? I mean, it's been like 4 months since we were in a war, so I understand DC is doing their thing. But like, enough. Right? But you see it every day. The media is going full force protecting these people. Right?
Yeah.
Remember last week? The Ukraine crisis is really causing much of this inflation. I'm like, you mean?
No, it's not.
Right? I saw it today. Gas prices, they went up significantly. Yeah, but they've been going up significantly for like 14 months now.
Yeah.
They don't talk about that. Because that's what we're up against. We're up against $1 trillion mainstream media, $1 trillion social media complex, $1 trillion big tech that are functioning as the marketing department of the other side.
Yeah.
And they love weak Republicans.
Yeah.
Right? Thinking, oh, they're useful idiots.
Yeah.
Right? You see that they'll love a Brian Kemp because they know that when it actually matters, Brian Kemp won't fight.
Yeah.
Right? Brian Kemp gave you Rasselsberger.
Yeah.
Who won't fight? They love those kinds of Republicans. Right? And Donald Trump showed you that you don't have to sit back. You can actually push back. You know when it's really nice to push back? When the facts are actually on your side, right?
Yeah.
We can talk about all of the examples over the last years, whether it's the gas pricing analogy I just used, whether it's, well, the shelves aren't really empty. You should just lower your expectations. I understand they're communists, and that is what communism gives you. That is not what we expect as Americans.
Right.
And yet for them, it's totally normal. Right? I was talking with a doctor and a scientist backstage. When and in what world was the Wuhan lab leak theory ever not the most plausible outcome? Right?
Yeah.
But if you said that as a doctor, you were out.
Yeah.
No. It did not come from the lab that studies the exact virus in the exact town where the lab virus originated. It came from it came from 2 feet outside of that lab. If you even asked the question, you were labeled a heretic. Of course it was the most plausible, but that doesn't matter because it wouldn't drive their narrative forward, right?
Right.
You see this every day. Now I watch some of the stuff going on as we talk. What do we believe, right? I remember for about 12 hours the ghost of Kiev. That was real. I was like, I don't know. I'm looking at it. It doesn't look real. You see what they're doing. Because I know. Because guess what, guys? Like, I was in the room for 5 years as they lied about everything that I saw with my own eyes. Now, I'm not to believe what I saw with my own eyes. Even if I was president, I'm to believe CNN, the fakest thing in news. So now we do have to get out there, guys, because it matters. Now you've seen just how bad it can be, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe you needed Joe Biden.
No.
Maybe you needed to hit rock bottom to wake up to understand what is at stake for our children, for our future, for our values, for our country. Right? I get it, man. We're up against $1 billion complex. It's hard. But that's why we need people like David Perdue.
And Donald Trump.
It's why we need Bert. It's why we need Vernon. It's why we need to stand by these guys. Because again, they're out there on their own. Both sides are going to be working against them, right?
Yeah.
You don't think the establishment Republicans, you think they want any?
No.
They don't. The rhinos don't want them. They want to go back to normal. Liz Cheney's out there. She wants to be in a war. Let's make sure we have other people that we can manipulate. Let's make sure that the facts don't matter and whatever mainstream media tells you will be the gospel. Because then they get what they want. They get to line their pockets. They get their billions from board seats and whatnot. Saw an interesting statistic over the weekend. It broke down who wants to get into war with Russia based on income. No, seriously, dude. Guess what? The richest people were more than happy to get in that war because they know their kids aren't going to go fight. Your kids are. Right? The people actually do the bad. Like, I don't know. Maybe we got enough stuff to worry about at home. Maybe we got to fix our own house before we go try to fix other people's houses. And by the way, especially places like Russia or Ukraine, you know, almost minor details, like some of the most corrupt nations in the world. Well, you see the propaganda following. Yeah, no, you're right. We give Russia $50 million a day in oil. Right? We'll ban them for other stuff, but not oil. Don't forget, Russia is basically the de facto arbiter right now. They're like the moderator of our renegotiations with Iran. So we're out there, oh, they're so terrible. Oh, really? Then why are they doing that? So the same administration that's saying they're terrible, and I'm not saying they're good, I'm saying I have a feeling no one's being told the truth. Right? And we've seen that for the last 5 years. Right? All of the stuff that's propaganda designed to pull at your heartstrings, that turns out to be wrong 12 hours later, but it doesn't stop it from going viral. Right? There's never a traction. But so the same evil people, they're not that evil as long as we'll keep... Now, rather than opening up, I don't know, say our own pipelines, rather than unleashing American energy independence, we'll keep giving it to Russia, who is taking your dollars, because it's not the government's money, folks. Everything is taxpayer funded, not government funded. They're taking your money to give to Russia to fund the war that they say they're against. They're allowing that same evil regime to act essentially as the arbiter with Iran, the world's leading state sponsor of terror, perhaps until Russia took over that role about 10 days ago. How does any of this make sense?
It doesn't.
They're negotiating with Maduro, who they said was not a legitimate leader of his country, to get more oil and gas now. They'll take it from the worst pieces of garbage in the world, but they will not let us do it in our own backyards.
That's their plan.
And that's not just national security.
That's their plan.
It's jobs. It's inflation. You know, turns out the inflation not so transitory. Right? No, remember we're talking. No. It's transitory. It'll just be here for a little while. Then, no. It's a good thing.
No, it's not.
Like but it's not just me saying that sarcastically. They had Paul Krugman from the New York Times, someone who won a Nobel Prize in economics. It should be revoked. Right? Saying, no, it doesn't hurt the lowest income earners. I go, explain what inflation is, right? So if the typical basket of goods now costs much more than it did a week ago, who is hurt most by that? Just using basic brain power. How about like the people with the least disposable income? A Nobel laureate economist is telling you that that is not true. Now they'll come up with some sort of little nuance. It's nonsense, right?